Hi friends, happy morning. So this is Reshma, welcomes you to discuss concepts of database management system. And in this session, I'm going to discuss with you statements of SQL. In previous session, we have discussed different type of data types which can be used for implementing the database. So now we'll see what are the statements which we can use for the implementation. So here the statements of SQL, the commands of SQL are mainly categorized in four types. First is DDL. It stands for Data Definition Language, which is used to create structure of the database. Next, DML, Data Manipulation Language, which is used to retrieve the data from the database or adding the data to the database or changing the already existing added data. Then using DCL, that is Data Control Language. So here we can give permission to the users we can make them authors, or we can make them owner, or we can give access to the users to access some other tables. So like this we can grant some permissions or we can take back their permissions using TCL, that is transaction control language. So whatever the operations we have done in the database, we can save those databases they contain, we can roll back to the previous, we can undo, and we can route the data entered using transaction control languages. So now in today's session I'm going to discuss with you DDL, that is data definition language. And this data definition language, it includes mainly 5 statements. First is create, alter, drop, truncate, and rename. So these are the 5 basic data definition language commands. So let's see what is the use of this create command here. The create command and the create statement, this will be used to create the schema. We can create the tables, we can create views, triggers, assertions, that is any component of the database can be created with the help of a create command. So now here, before creating the smallest component, the table, so first let's create the schema for the database. So then this can be created, and so whenever we are creating the schema, so here we can specify who is the owner of the schema. So that is the user or the account owner for that particular schema can be specified with the help of the create schema command. So that is referred to as here authentication or authorization identifier. And then we can specify description of each element of the schema. Then which are the different schema elements, like which are the tables we need to define in that particular schema, what are the different data types for each table content, what constraints we need to specify, do we need to create any views, what are the domain values we can enter. So like the different schema construct can also be specified with the help of create schema statement. And the general syntax will be given like keyword create, then schema. Example here, create schema, name of the schema, that is name of the database, here company, authorization Smith. So owner of the company database is Smith. So Smith has all authorities to create, delete, update, whatever the operations you want to perform on the components of the company database can be done by Smith. So now this is first example, the first use of create statement. With the help of create, we can create a schema. So inside schema, we can create any number of tables. And again we can see here, as in other programming languages, in SQL also every statement should end with semicolon. Okay, so now, so this is very important. So now assume that this is the company database, the schema which we have created. So there we have total 6 tables we have. Each table contain different number of attributes which contain primary key indicated with the help of arrow mark, then foreign keys indicated with the help of tail of that arrow. Okay, so then sometimes we have composite attribute. Same primary key can be used as foreign key for more than one table. So this is the structure which we have created using create schema. So now I want to create each table. So for the creation of the tables, we'll see how we can take the help of data types. So now let employee table to create this table. So the simple technique. So I'll start with basic and we'll see how to add the constraint, how to add primary key, foreign key. So we'll learn step by step. Now to create this table. So first what we need to do, use the keyword create and caption table. This is name of table. So I want creating a table with the name employee. Then open the parenthesis, specify variable attributes with the data type and the constraint. So here data attribute name is f name. Data type we have given varchar 15. So maximum 15 characters it can take. We can enter less than 15 also. Then this is the constraint. So value cannot be null. You should enter at least some value for f name. Then middle initial we have given char. So here I have not specified the size. Then by default it will take single character. Then L name we have entered. See name, data type, constraint. Then SSN name, data type, constraint, birth date, address, sex, single male or female. So then I have not specified data type. So that is I have not specified the size. Salary. See here we have given use decimal. So these are the data types which you have already learnt in previous session. So decimal 10,2 means it includes 10 digits. After decimal 2. Then super SSN D number. So now here, if I see this, primary key will be underlined. Primary key is underlined. So now we have to make S name as primary key, SSN as primary key. So the syntax for this, use the keyword primary key. In parentheses, we need to specify name of the attribute primary key of SSN. So now SSN becomes now here primary key. So now initially I am creating the tables only with the primary key. So now we'll take some more examples so that you can become perfect in creating the tables. So then create table department, D name, varchar 15, constraint we are given not null. So not null, better you should give not null for those attributes where you don't want that value to be null. But in some cases, in optional cases, we can make use of no need to specify not null so that it can accept null value. But for better design of the database, we should avoid inserting many null values. So better give not null. Now here primary key is D number. Then we have added one more constraint here, unique D name. So for example, for first D name I have given not null. This means we cannot leave any column without entering the value for D name. So you should enter some value for D name, department name. And again, we cannot have more than one department with the same name. So this should be unique. So now what we already learned difference between primary key and the unique. So now here primary key is the key attribute which will be used to identify the table uniquely. And using unique name, so this is not the primary key, this is the additional constraints which we can give to maintain the value of that attribute as unique. So then now here we will see how to enter. So now we have learned how to give the primary key, how to give the constraint not null, and how to make the attribute unique. So now we'll see how to make one of the primary key as a foreign key. So now Again, we need to keep in mind one point here. While creating the tables for the database, first we need to create the tables which contains only primary key. So if a table contains foreign key, we cannot create immediately, because to create a table with foreign key, I need a parent key, that is primary key is needed first. So what we need to do, create the tables with primary key first. So now here MGRSSN. So he is the manager of some particular department. Some of the employees manager of the department. So now MGRSSN is the foreign key here. MGRSSN is foreign key, which is referring to SSN of employee table, where SSN is primary key. Then we'll see how to write the statement for making MGR SSN as foreign key. So there are different methods to write the statement for foreign key. So simple method I will show here. So we need to use the keyword foreign key. Then which attribute of the current table is a foreign key. So in this table MGR SSN, I want to make MGR SSN foreign key, so we have to specify this. Then use the keyword references. Okay, use the keyword references, not just reference, we need to use references. From which table? From employee table. Which attribute of employee table? SSN. So in employee table, SSN is primary key. I want to use this SSN as foreign key in my current table, that is in department table. So foreign key MGR SSN, references employee SSN. But here, while making MGR SSN as foreign key, we need to check the data type for MGR SSN. So data type for MGR SSN, it should be same as data type of SSN. So what is the data type here we have used for MGR SSN? This is char 9. So maximum, okay. So it will take exactly 9 characters. Otherwise it will padded with null, because this is the fixed string. So now we'll check in employee table. So see what is the data type for employee SSN. So this is character none, and just check it is also a primary key. SSN is a primary key, data type is char 9. So in department table also MGR SSN should be a char 9. And here no need to use this as not null, because foreign key it can be null also. Foreign key can be null also, but based on the database which you are creating, if you don't want any department without a manager, if you want manager for every department, for that condition I have specified here not null, but remember any foreign key can be null also. So now we'll create another table, department location. So if I see here department location, here D number and D location, so combined together they are forming a composite key. So composite prime attribute we have. Then we'll see how to specify, how to write the primary key if more than one attribute is playing this role. So create table, table name is department location, D number. So this is not a primary key, not it. Then D location. This is a composite primary key. So what we have to do, use the keyword primary key. Inside parentheses, we need to specify all the attributes which behaves as composite key. Here D number and D location combined, it forms a composite key. Then D number is primary key of department table. So now we need to make it as foreign key. So foreign key D number from current table, references from owner table department, attribute name from department table. Then we have created project table. Here project table is primary key stream number. So these concepts, whatever the statements here I am using, that we already learned in previous example. This is just like a revision kind for you. So all concepts which I have discussed with first 3 tables are in this. So now works on. So here I have 2 foreign keys, ESSN from employee table, P number from project table. We can have more than one primary key in a table, and we can have more than one foreign key also. So these are some basic examples for creation of tables using the create command. So now this is the simple techniques for creating the tables and the schema. But a database, this allows some constraints as the part of a table creation. So here the basic constraints include key and referential integrity constraints, restrictions on attribute domains and null values, constraints on individual tuples. So we can have table level constraints and row level constraints. Then we'll use constraints on attributes. Okay, the attribute it can be a null or it can have a default value. So it can be specified, or we can take the help of check constraints. So like this, we are having different type of constraints that can be used while creating the tables. So first practice with the creation of the tables with these simple methods. So in my next session, I will discuss with you the creation of the tables by including different type of constraints at the row level and also at table level.